What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the Aquaman film starring Jason Momoa. So it's already been a week since it's been out, and guys, it is killing it at the box office. And you know what? For DC, this is a good testament to the fandom and actually a good portion of audience members showing, hey, we still want DC films, we just might prefer a different direction. But with this film, it seems that DC has had new life and is now extending their lifeline with this specific universe, especially since Jason Momoa was one of those key factors that people seem to really enjoy as far as casting and everything. So how does he do in his first solo film? Well, before I get into anything, guys, I will be talking about spoilers. But without further ado, let's jump into my review of Aquaman. So the story of Aquaman takes it back to the beginning of Aquaman's birth. Arthur, named after the king of course, was birthed by Queen Atlanna and his father, who I really don't remember his name because the dad was also Abin Sur in Green Lantern, and also Jango Fett, and I don't really feel like he had a prominent part in this film so much. But anyway, the whole premise of this is about Aquaman stopping his half-brother Orm from actually becoming the Ocean Master, in which he would actually lead a huge uprising and destroy all the land dwellers or conquer them because of all their transgressions in generations past, essentially. So, being the chosen one, Amber Heard's mirror actually has to go and find Aquaman Arthur so that they can avert this crisis and so that he can take his rightful place in his birthright as the true king of Atlantis. Basically, Aquaman, all you need to know is that Aquaman is an 80s action film with a lot of cheese, but with a huge budget. It gives you a wild, fun ride. It does a lot of merging on different tropes. I mean, it's an undersea and water film, so you know they threw a lot of different nods to a lot of nautical stories. Pinocchio, Little Mermaid, even freaking Peter Pan. I mean, how the hell are they shoehorning a random flute scene into a damn Aquaman movie? It felt like an Indiana Jones film at times, and it even felt like a Pirates film. I mean, I have to be honest, at the end fight scene, when all the sea stuff was going on, I felt like it was Pirates of the Caribbean with all the sea monsters, and at the end, when he's confronting that big monster who he's talking to, he should have just called it the Kraken. So as far as the characters in this film, like I said, Jason Momoa, top notch. He's very oafish, and he kind of is like a wet Thor, if you think about it, because he and Chris Hemsworth are kind of playing up less on that serious note and more on the jokey, kind of silliness of the character themselves, and it works well for the character. There's just certain points where he delivers serious lines where I just can't take him seriously, but I gotta tell you, the movie did throw some curveballs. It's fine, you know, so definitely kudos to them. The action scenes, the one-on-one action scenes that were more practical and on land and everything, with Queen Atlanna and with Aquaman and actually Black Manta and his troop, I really enjoyed. And actually, to take a sidestep and go back to the beginning for this film, I really enjoyed because we actually saw the origin, essentially, of Black Manta, and it kind of made a little bit more sense than what I'm used to. Not that I'm very familiar with the character, but there is a clear-cut vendetta, and their motivations for Black Manta, I totally understood. I mean, obviously you understand the Ocean Master, his motivation because of Earth and the land dwellers polluting the ocean and everything, but I mean, you feel more emotionally connected to Black Manta's story because Aquaman literally left him and his dad to die because they tried to kill him, but also they killed several people because they were pillaging and pirating a submarine, basically. The character of Black Manta, I really enjoyed, and as a villain, I preferred his kind of like story again, as you might have guessed, to Orm's. Although Orm's was very good for a first initial villain because that gives you reason to make Aquaman kind of become acquainted with his heritage again and make him become a king. Another element that I liked is the fact that they had this whole little through line with Aquaman and Orm's mother basically having been sacrificed because she birthed a child out of wedlock, or the promised wedding with Orm's father with a land dweller and everything, and that really just shows you again kind of how outcast he's been and whatnot. And I love the fact that they gave him his costume not at the very end, but actually through the midway point, and they actually had him show off his costume in full glory. Overall, the film is very good. And like I said, this was kind of like the lifeline test for DC at this point, because if this film failed, it was done. Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, all the castings and everything were absolutely done, short of Wonder Woman 1984. But overall, ranking all the films, again, liking Zack Snyder's work, I feel Man of Steel and Batman v Superman take the 2 top spots. Then Wonder Woman, because I think that was just very unexpected. Wonder Woman was the ability in showing kind of that these heroes do have a place in cinema and people actually do really like what they have to offer. Aquaman is right after that for me, because Aquaman, again, was one of those things that surprised me. It had a lot going for it. Had some 80s cheese, had a lot of cool action, had a lot of CGI, but it did pretty well with a character that, again, I mean, you go back to Iron Man, you take a D-list character and you make him popular, how the hell does that happen? And here, I feel Aquaman did it in spades, especially when you consider that it used to be a blonde white guy who looked like this, and then you get a badass buff Samoan dude looking like this. But overall, after that, I would say Justice League, and then, of course, dead ass last, by the way, by a mile, by 100 billion miles, Suicide Squad. But overall, guys, I think that Aquaman was a great time. They did a very good job providing some minimal surprises, but giving us kind of a safe space, as it were, for a film and a story to kind of breathe and tell its own story. And I think James Wan really enjoyed making this film, and I think the whole cast and everything really enjoyed being in this film. It was weird to see Nicole Kidman back in a role in a DC film after being Dr. Chase Meridian, and of course it was weird to see Abin Sur being someone else other than the alien that gives Hal Jordan his ring with the failed Green Lantern film. But that's neither here nor there. If you haven't seen the film yet, what are you waiting for? You know you're going to go see it, and it's been out long enough where it should be less of a crowd. But if you can get a packed house, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. I gave the film 3.5 out of 5 stars for sure. And honestly, guys, it's one of those movies that you definitely don't want to miss, and it's great for your collection, especially if you're a DC fan. But all in all, guys, tell me what you thought about the film down below. Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see here. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that bell button. That way you never miss a moment of my content, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as always, I am Jay. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.